today at 4, attorneys for former Frisco student Karmelo Anthony were back in court, this time asking for a new judge. Welcome to WFAA News at 4 o'clock. I'm Jason Wheeler. Anthony's attorneys argued that Judge John Roach should be removed as they seek a new trial now in the deadly track meet stabbing case. And today they got that ruling. Back in June, Anthony was sentenced to 35 years in prison for killing Austin Metcalf, another student at that track meet. His attorneys raised concerns about comments that Judge Roach made after that trial was over. Our senior crime and justice reporter Rebecca Lopez was at the courthouse today and has more on this big ruling.
Karmelo Anthony's supporters declared victory today after the judge in this trial was removed. Here's the reaction after they came out of the courtroom, which was packed with his supporters. Supporters came out cheering and chanting Karmelo Anthony's name. The Anthony family pastor Freddie Haynes brought a busload of people to the courthouse to watch the proceedings. Supporters declared this a major win. Judge Sid Harrell, who is from San Antonio and doesn't know Judge Roach, heard arguments from Anthony's new appellate attorneys about why they wanted Judge Roach removed as they appeal his guilty verdict and hope to get a new trial. They raised concerns about Roach's public comments after the verdict, restrictions on courtroom access, and agreements made during the trial that they claim were never put on the record. The main evidence presented was an interview Judge Roach did with WFAA's Jobin Puneker 2 days after the verdict. Judge Roach said he believed Anthony got a fair trial and the jury got the verdict right, and some of the public were concerned about what he said.
I've never seen a judge in the aftermath of a trial decide to go public and, basically make a statement that made it out that everything went well, everything was done right. You don't have that authority. You don't have that's not within your purview. And so for me, that was shocking. As a layperson, I am not an attorney, but that was shocking that he would do that. He jumped the gun.
Austin Metcalf's mom and dad were in the courtroom along with Collin County District Attorney Greg Willis. And now this case moves to a new judge out of Kaufman County. Tomorrow, that judge is going to hear a motion for a new trial that is going to be presented by Karmelo Anthony's new attorneys. In Collin County, I'm Rebecca Lopez. Back to you.
We want to remind you here that WFAA is going to be live from the courthouse every day following this trial. We're also streaming our After the Hearing special immediately following the 5 o'clock news. You can scan the QR code that's about to appear on your screen here to get up to speed on the case. But again, that streaming begins right after our 5 p.m. newscast on our streaming app, WFAA Plus, which is free to download. A 5-year-old girl has died after police say she was left inside a hot car in Garland. Officers responded Tuesday evening to a home on Redbird Drive there. She was taken to the hospital, but the little girl died. Police say an adult family member had returned home from school with her and her sibling. After the family realized that the 5-year-old was missing, they say they found her unresponsive inside the car. So far, no charges have been filed. We will have more information on this story coming up later on this evening. But, as we turn to weather now with meteorologist Cassie Hyder, these are critical days. Any summer day, any day, obviously you want to make sure that you're checking that back seat. But, boy, these days are critical because the car just heats up like that as soon as you're out of it.
That's the thing. The cars just heat up so quickly. And kids also heat up a lot more quickly than adults do. It's very significant. So we're going to talk about exactly how fast does a car heat up. And again, it's pretty significant. So when we have an outdoor temperature of 103 degrees, and by the way, that's kind of where we're at across parts of the Metroplex right now, it actually takes less than 5 minutes for inside that car to reach 112 degrees. Now, even still at that temperature, under 10 minutes, 122 degrees, and then 20 minutes, 132. You can see where this is going, just how quickly the car can heat up. So even at, 50 minutes, just under an hour, 144 degrees. That's why we always want you to take this heat very seriously and make sure to not only check the back seat, check on your neighbors, especially the elderly, your pets. We have another extreme heat warning across the Metroplex for tomorrow, as the temperature could get over 105 degrees with a feel-like temperature near 110. We're going to talk about when temperatures could potentially go down whatsoever coming up in just a little bit. Jason?
All right, this is a tragic reminder, though, to all of us. Thank you so much, Cassie. President Trump says no new talks are currently underway with Iran. This comes as Iran is now sharing more about its economy, and the U.S. is signaling new historic moves to try to put more pressure on that country. Maddie Gannon has the latest today from the White House.
Attention seems to be shifting to Iran's economy as efforts to negotiate a deal to end the war appear to be on ice. A U.S. official told CNN that President Donald Trump has directed his team to pause talks with Iran after the president declared in a post on Truth Social that no conversations were taking place. Asked on Wednesday if talks could resume at some point, Trump didn't close the door on the possibility, but seemed to dismiss the idea.
Maybe at some point, but right now, I think the situation is so good.
It comes days after Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent teased that the U.S. would be making new announcements to put pressure on Iran's economy in ways that have, quote, never been seen. And what appeared to be a response to all of this, a post on X from Iran's top negotiator accused the U.S. of trying to squeeze Iran for concessions. He also accused Bessent and U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth of being, quote, way out of their league. But Iran's foreign minister did acknowledge this week that the war and the U.S. blockade on Iranian ports in particular has contributed to shortages and high prices in the country. In another potential economic blow, the United Arab Emirates announced it is pausing all trade with Iran for the time being. This after the UAE says it detected 2 missiles fired in the direction of the country from Iran. Iran is denying this, but it speaks to the tension that the world is under right now. On Wednesday, NATO responded to reports that Iran could be looking to attack U.S. military targets in Europe by saying it is ready to address any threats. At the White House, I'm Maddie Gannon.
All right, let's bring it back here to North Texas now on this Wednesday afternoon. Rush hour just getting underway, and at least in this one shot, it doesn't look terrible.
Yeah, so it doesn't look terrible. Could be worse. That's 635 close to Central Expressway, but you can see a little bit of active road work there. That's causing a minor slowdown. I'll show you that in just a second. We do have a problem right along the Dallas North Tollway. That is that bright stretch of red southbound right there at Mockingbird Lane. And it looks like that backup's pretty significant. It goes all the way past Loop 12. So be aware of that one. You may want to go ahead and take Central Expressway 35, the extra length or distance you have to travel may be worth it as opposed to getting stuck in that mess, or Preston Road. So we're also looking along 635, a little bit of road work still slowing things down. We had a stalled vehicle affecting the eastbound portion of LBJ right there, but it cleared fortunately. Now we're taking a trip up to Denton County where things don't look too bad along I-35E, but we have major changes coming to this portion of the interstate starting tonight. So just taking a look at what's happening along I-35E at Bonnie Bray right now. Traffic relatively light along the interstate through Denton County, both northbound and southbound. But starting tonight, I-35E southbound will close from Bonnie Bray Street to Oak Street. That starts at 9 o'clock tonight. Again, southbound totally shut down there. Traffic will be detoured to the service road. It does not reopen, Jason, until tomorrow morning.